You likely know that in Washington today, the impeachment proceeding against President Trump moved into the House Judiciary Committee chaired by Chairman Nadler. So all the hearings you're watching for the last couple of weeks were in the House Intelligence Committee. We're now in the Judiciary Committee, which is actually the committee that has jurisdiction to hold an impeachment hearing and ultimately to make a vote and then send it to the floor of the House. So it was a big, big day in Washington today as that impeachment hearing opened in the Judiciary Committee. The way the rules are set up, the Democrats they can invite all the witnesses they want. Republicans got one witness. But the Republican witness who was called today, a constitutional scholar, a nationally renowned, enormously respected Democrat scholar, constitutional scholar, Jonathan Turley, gave an opening statement today. And you can read his entire statement on my website, americacanwetalk.org, on the homepage. Under shows, drop down list of links. But what I want to have you hear right now, these are some excerpts of what Jonathan Turley had to say to the House Judiciary Committee on this first day of the impeachment hearing against President Trump. And this is Matt, the wonderful, I believe, has that clip.
William Jefferson Clinton. I never thought that I would have to appear a second time to address the same question with regard to another sitting president. Yet here we are. The elements are strikingly similar. The intense rancor and rage of the public debate is the same. It's the atmosphere that the framers anticipated. The stifling intolerance of opposing views is the same. I'd like to start, therefore, perhaps incongruously, by stating an irrelevant fact. I'm not a supporter of President Trump. I voted against him. My personal views of President Trump are as irrelevant to my impeachment testimony as they should be to your impeachment vote. President Trump will not be our last president, and what we leave in the wake of this scandal will shape our democracy for generations to come. I'm concerned about lowering impeachment standards to fit a paucity of evidence and an abundance of anger. I believe this impeachment not only fails to satisfy the standard of past impeachments, but would create a dangerous precedent for future impeachments. When the framers met in Philadelphia, they were quite familiar with impeachment and its abuses. The framers rejected a proposal to add maladministration because Madison objected that so vague a term would be equivalent to a tenure during the pleasure of the Senate. In the end, various standards that had been used in the past were rejected. Corruption, obtaining office by improper means, betraying the trust of a foreign power, negligence, perfidy, peculation, and oppression. Perfidy or lying and peculation, self-dealing, are particularly relevant to our current controversy. My testimony explores the impeachment cases of Nixon, Johnson, and Clinton. The closest of these three cases is to the 1868 impeachment of Andrew Johnson. It is not a model or an association that this committee should relish. In that case, a group of opponents of the presidents, called the Radical Republicans, created a trapdoor crime in order to impeach the president. They even defined it as a high misdemeanor. There was another shared aspect besides the atmosphere of that impeachment and also the unconventional style of the two presidents. And that shared element is speed. This impeachment would rival the Johnson impeachment as the shortest in history, depending on how one counts the relevant days. This would be the first impeachment in history where there would be considerable debate and, in my view, not compelling evidence of the commission of a crime. We are living in the very period described by Alexander Hamilton, a period of agitated passions. I get it. You're mad. The president's mad. My Republican friends are mad. My Democratic friends are mad. My wife is mad. My kids are mad. So we're all mad. Where has that taken us? Will a slipshod impeachment make us less mad? Will it only invite an invitation for the madness to follow every future administration? That is why this is wrong. To impeach a president on this record would expose every future president to the same type of inchoate impeachment.
Folks, I hope that you can share just this segment of this show or share a link to the portion of the opening statements that were given again. That was Jonathan Turley. He's a law professor at George Washington University in Washington, D.C. He is one of the premier, unparalleled, and no one questions, premier constitutional scholars in this country. We are at a very, very serious time in this country. His opening testimony, just the portion you heard, makes clear how anyone clear thinking, anyone understanding the Constitution, anyone staying focused on looking at the evidence actually presented, there is no basis at all justified by the Constitution for this impeachment. It was very wise of him to point out everybody's mad. I know people, everyone has friends like the ones he described. Republican friends who are angry that the president is facing this impeachment challenge. Democrat friends and relatives who are saying, I don't care what the grounds are. I don't even care what he did. They just dislike him. They want him out. And that is pretty much the impetus behind this Democrat effort to remove the president. It's not just personal dislike of personality. It is all the things we've talked about in this show so many times. But it's getting really serious in Washington. What motivates the Democrats are really big issues, like President Trump is righting the ship of America's economy, putting us back on track as a nation rooted in liberty and free markets, putting us back on track for a nation that relishes and cherishes our sovereignty, our unique American identity, our insistence on a robust American economy, a robust American sovereignty that does not defer to the globalists of this world. President Trump's election in 2016 was a radical course change for this country, and that beneath it all is really driving much of the impeachment effort the Democrat Party is pushing. They had this country so far turned left under President Obama, so far near the edge of the cliff, of just over the cliff to socialism. They thought they had Hillary lined up to continue President Obama's obliteration of the idea, the unique, extraordinary idea of America rooted in liberty. And President Obama was shifting that away, was just working away at it for 8 years, diminishing the role of America in the world, diminishing the sense of American pride, diminishing the identity, the unique, extraordinary identity of this country, and trying to say that America is really no better than any other country. And folks, I get it. Every country is a wonderful country, and many people love their countries. But students of American history, students of the Constitution, students of the formation of this country realize the extraordinarily unique greatness of the ideas that founded this country. And those ideas are what leftists in this country hate. They hate those founding ideas. And the idea that President Trump came along, reinvigorated love of America, reinvigorated the population to believe in America, to think that we matter enough that we actually have to have secure borders, to believe in a robust economy that's based on free markets, which in turn means individuals re-engaging, being self-reliant, participating in the American dream. All of that was putting America back on track. What President Trump brought to this country was not radical right or radical conservatism. It was plain homespun, hometown America is what President Trump talked about in his campaign, what he brought to this country, and that drives leftists nuts. So in this impeachment hearing, I'm not going to talk much more about it today because we're going to talk about what the reports are out so far, what the Democrats versus Republicans are saying. But in closing the first 5 today on the impeachment, I know it's excruciating to watch, and I don't sit and watch it. I couldn't sit and watch it. But understand what you just heard. Professor Jonathan Turley, renowned constitutional scholar from George Washington University, what he laid out is all you really need to know about this impeachment. There's nothing there in terms of all of the evidence and 2.5 years of the Mueller investigation and months of digging and going and finding some anonymous witness, everyone's supposed to not know who it is, to submit a complaint about President Trump. All of that digging, all of that looking, all the secret proceedings that were held inside the House, in the basement of the House, where Republicans were not allowed, the media was not allowed. These are things that you do when you know what you're doing is wrong. This is what the Democrats, why in the basement of the House, they were hiding out, taking secret depositions and secret testimony, digging, trying to find something to cause them to conclude they could possibly have legitimate basis to impeach the president. They found nothing. What they have is hogwash, and Turley called them on that this morning. I urge you to share that clip and remind yourself, listen to the whole clip. Remind yourself what an extraordinarily important time this is in American history. We are literally fighting about holding on to the republic as founded. And that, my friends, is today's First Five.